Good to have you on with us.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here and being with you and everybody back in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut.
Dr. Reisman, we understand you're a Giants fan, a Yankees fan. You're from Parsippany in Morristown, New Jersey, and your wife is staying with your sister now in Brooklyn, so you are to the core New York tri-state. How does it feel looking down from space at us?
Well, you know, well, you found out a lot about me. I'm impressed, but it is really neat. I got to tell you that every time we fly over the New York area, I try to get to a window and have a peek out because it's a really neat feeling to look out and see things that looked familiar on the ground. They look completely different now, and it's just nice to know that all my friends and family are down there, and you know, it feels a little bit like home, even though I'm whizzing by overhead at 17,500 miles an hour. It's really a thrill every time we go by.
Dr. Reisman, describe what kind of preparation was necessary for this mission.
Well, you know, it's been a long time in the making. I've been an astronaut for 10 years now, and so there was a whole lot of preparation. But really, that's just my preparation when I was at NASA, and it was lots of training, learning to fly airplanes, working in simulators, taking a lot of classes. There's a lot of preparation that's not all that glamorous. A lot of times sitting in classrooms and learning about the systems on the space station and the space shuttle. But really, my preparation began in Parsippany many years ago. It began when I was a student in junior high school and even earlier than that. You know, when I first started studying math and science, that's really when my training began, because all that stuff and everything I learned from all my teachers and all the great school systems that I benefited from in Parsippany it's paying off today.
What is your specific function on the mission?
Well, it's hard to pin that down, to be honest with you. They call us mission specialists on the space shuttle, and that's a misnomer because we don't necessarily specialize. We do a whole bunch of different things. And on the space station, I'm a flight engineer, which is kind of again a jack of all trades. When the space shuttle was here and we were part of the mission STS-123, I did a spacewalk and I operated the robot arm. Those were my primary responsibilities. And when now on the space station, most of my day is spent maintaining the space station and also doing some scientific experiments. And so there's a whole variety of different things I do up here, and it's all really neat.
How long is your day? I mean, what part of the space station are you in right now, and how long is this day? Is it a 16-hour-long workday, or do you kind of get some breaks in between?
Well, it is a long work day, but you know, it's all interesting stuff, and there are breaks occasionally. We do get a day off on the weekend, and that's really great because even on my day off, I'm really busy. In fact, you know, we thought that maybe it would be boring for these long duration missions, but I found that this mission has been so action-packed. We've had so much stuff going on that it's been anything but boring. I mean, we had a space shuttle, and we brought up a new robot and new pieces of the space station, and then we had an ATV, the new European cargo ship came and docked with us, and then we had a departure of a Progress cargo ship, a Russian cargo ship. We had a Soyuz show up with a whole new set of crew members, two new crewmates, and I had two other crewmates go home, so there's been a lot going on. And to answer your question, right now I'm in Node 2, or the Harmony module, and just over here, my right, your left, is the Columbus Laboratory, and just above me here is the first piece of the Japanese Laboratory module.
That is fascinating. I have to ask, though, what the first thing is that you want to do when you get back to Earth?
Probably give my wife a big hug. That's the first thing I want to do. After that, maybe a nice slice of pizza.
And maybe we'll get you tickets to a Yankee game.
That would be outstanding, too. I will take you up on that.
What would you like to say to the Yankees?
I just want to wish him the best, and I hope they all get healthy. First of all, I know that a lot of the guys are nursing some injuries, and I hope they all recover soon, and I can watch them. I do get some of the games up here, and I'm looking forward to seeing them return and go on the way to number 27.
You get the games up there? How many channels can you watch?
Oh, we got actually, we don't even have satellite, which is ironic. But they do uplink video files to us, and so I can watch highlights of the games, and I get some of the audio broadcasts, and just a few television shows. So, including the news programs. So we stay in touch.
Dr. Reisman, if you had your wife here right now, what would you like to say to her? What message would you like to send to her?
Just that it's during our training we spent a lot of time overseas, and because now to train for the space station it is truly international. So now we have Japanese and European modules. We spent a lot of time in Germany and in Japan, and we've always spent a lot of time in Russia. And so we've dealt with separation a lot, but there's something psychologically very different, even though the time duration isn't much different. There's something psychologically different about being up here on the space station, going around in orbit around the Earth. So I just want to tell her I miss her.
And I'm sure she and your whole family miss you very much and can't wait for you to come home. When will you be coming home?
Well, the Space Shuttle Discovery is launching here. In fact, I think they're rolling out to the pad Saturday, tomorrow. So we're getting close. They are planning to launch at the end of the month, and we'll be working with them up here on the space station. They're bringing up the main piece of the Japanese laboratory module, and it's going to be the biggest module on the station, and it's going to be really exciting when that comes up, and has a whole new capability to our space station. So that's going to occur, like I said, their launch is at the end of the month, and it lasts about 2 weeks. We'll be working on getting that new module connected to the station up and running. And then I'll come home with them. And I should point out that on that shuttle, there are actually 4 of us that have a claim to New Jersey. 3 of us were born there, and 1 astronaut spent their childhood there. So 4 of the 7 crew members coming home will be somehow related to New Jersey.
And a fellow Garden Stater right here talking to you, sir, from the long-distance port of WABC-TV in New York City. But it's very nice to hear your voice and to see that you look very healthy. What kind of workout do you get to do to try to not lose muscle? I know in zero gravity that's difficult.
You're absolutely right. That's a very good question. There's really amazing things that happen to your body once you're in this weightless environment. You do have this large fluid shift because the heart doesn't have to pump against gravity to get blood to the brain. So that occurs, and then there's also muscle loss from muscles that you no longer use when you can just float around. There's really no need for a lot of your muscles, and there's also not so much of a need for your heavy skeleton either. So you begin to lose bone, you begin to lose muscle, and we're working very hard. In fact, the primary focus of our research is trying to find out how to counteract those effects so we can go back to the moon and on to Mars. And so far, one of the best ways to do that is with exercise. And so we have a treadmill, we have a stationary bike, and we also have a resistive exercise device so we can lift weights, but it's really working against large rubber bands essentially. And so we do that every day, and we have to do that in order for there to be no long-term health consequences of being up here for many months on end. So that's our regimen. I spend about 2 hours every day working out.
And is the space station in a solid orbit where it floats basically over the same part of the Earth at all times, or does it move as well?
That's a good question. No, we're in low Earth orbit. You have to be much higher for you to stay over the same spot. We're only about 200 miles up, and so we go around the Earth once every hour and a half. We go all the way around. And let's see, when we started talking, I glanced up at the map, and we were just past Australia. Right now, we're over Hawaii and heading for northern Canada.
Well, do us a favor. When you come back over the New York area wave, we'll be looking up, okay? And you be safe, and we can't wait to meet you when you get back to Earth. Be safe, Doctor, and thanks for talking with us.